So I'm just guess. I'm just going to guess how it went. We made more baskets than they did at the end. Um, really and truly, opening statement is being able to bounce back from a game against a really tough team, knowing that we're going to face another team who's a really good scoring team. They scored differently, obviously. They obviously hit some adversity by not having Savannah Jones play, but to me, the Lewis kid is a big-time basketball player in our conference, so knowing they're going to have that, and they have some young ones that are really good at getting in the paint. Our team did a great job defensively of making it really tough for them to get to easy looks, whether it be easy look inside to Lewis or just a comfortable three. You know, I feel like the threes, I told them during one of the timeouts, you guys are doing a great job of forcing tough threes, whereas that wasn't necessarily the case the other night against Troy. Those were comfortable threes. These were tough threes, and then the result was at halftime they were 1 for 10. So I'm really proud of our effort from that standpoint. I feel like our scoring was pretty balanced across the board. Our kids did a good job. We picked it up. My assumption is we out-rebounded them. What does that last stat sheet say, Connor? Oh, because I knew it was, yeah. And one of the things I can tell you that I wrote up there is that if we win on defense and the rebounding is a piece of it, then we're going to win the basketball game, and that's truly what happened in this case for us. I mean, think about how many times y'all saw our players box out and the ball literally dropped, and a guard had to run in there because our forwards, you know, and our big guards put a body on somebody. I think that's exciting. The buy-in to defense and how that correlates to offense is really and truly what I've been reaching and searching for from our team, and I think they've seen it strung together in the last 6 games, that when we play well defensively, I mean, you know, we're pretty tough because we get into a really good rhythm offensively. So I'm proud of the overall effort and execution for our team. And you know, it's great the way the schedule's falling, because now it falls in a bye week before we face the #1 team in UTA, who, you know, they still got to play Troy tonight as well. So we'll see. We'll let those people at the top battle for that, you know, that bye. But we're doing what we need to do, and that's all I can ask from my basketball club.
Coach, if I were to tell you before the game that you're going to be leading by 4 at the half, and then I was going to tell you at the end of the game you're going to lead by 30, what would you say?
We must be playing defense in the second half. We must be doing a good job playing defense. And that we might have struggled in the first half, and the game really, for me, came down to our ability to understand defensively what we needed to do. I ran in there before they sat down, too, and just really kind of gave them some motivation to do a better job in transition D. That's where we really struggled, and we talked about that. And the players made the adjustments. That's what good teams do. That's what you need your team to do down the stretch. Make the adjustment right away, and the rest will fall into place.
Did the loss to Troy motivate you guys at all today to do better rebounding-wise?
Rebounding-wise, yeah, but I just think, you know, what Coach said, like, we gave them too many open shots, too many comfortable shots. We did give them a lot of second chance points, like, in the fourth quarter, but, you know, we just knew that we needed to play better defense and not just let people just shoot threes against zone or man.
This question's for me, Natasha. What got into you in the third quarter? What got into you, man?
We just busted it, you know what I'm saying?
Buckle down and play defense. And when we play good defense, it leads to our offense, and it just gets us going.
Coach Z, one of the big bright spots for you guys, especially in such a game where you're facing such a good post team, your post played outstanding. Jada Reed had a career high in points and rebounds. Jose Johns had a career high in rebounds. Xander Emanuel was playing with great effort. Denasia was spreading the floor, hitting threes. What can you just say about the effort from your posts tonight?
It's about time. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Just jokes. Just jokes. Just jokes. Really and truly, they had an understanding. Coach Teamer does a good job of bringing them together and understanding where their value, as well as our guard coaches, but specifically with our forwards, the better they're able to play on both ends of the floor, the better we are. Obviously with defensive stops and rebounds, but in a situation where we have a potential first-team all-conference player, you know, we ran a lot of different people at her tonight, and each woman stepped up and made it tough. I mean, y'all literally, we talked that she was going to do this. She literally stands there and puts her hands on her hips just to get a breather, and she just stands there to try to get you to lull you to sleep. Then boom, she'll flash or she'll cut, and they did a good job of really fatiguing her to where she had to get a break before she stepped in. And so hats off to them in a one-day prep, understanding that and giving the effort we needed. And it was a team defense. The guards played an effort because they had a good job. They did a great job getting their hands up. You had to be active. We talk about buying your teammates at least 1 to 2 seconds to be able to shift and move to get around. And if you do that with active ball pressure because you know that look's inside, then now they may not have that look, and our guards did a good job from that end.
Coach, Brooke Collar did not shoot well, but she played well defensively. Not only did she play well defensively, but
I was really excited. I went into this process trusting both Ivy and myself, putting her in a position to defend. Ivy is a very good defender. She's been a little bit up and down lately, so we actually sat down and we had a nice talk. To be honest with you, it was a good talk, so she understood where my confidence was in her, and she had an opportunity to ask questions as well. I think when you have a good player-coach relationship and you come to an understanding, then you're able to kind of go through this relationship together. And so that piece of it for me was, Brooke is having to guard some pretty tough kids a lot. She can't do it all on her own. Having the confidence in Ivy was critical, and Ivy did a great job when she came in, alleviating some of that stress for Brooke, so Brooke can go in and get the rest that she needs, and Ivy also was able to come in and get some confidence that she needs on both ends of the floor. So I just really appreciate that piece. The team in the last 6 games, we can see the evolution of this team, and really it's been an upward evolution, even if you do include what happened with Troy. Troy is just a different team as far as what they do compared to most teams in the country. So to me, it's always a 50-50 how that game can fall if your team is playing really well. So right now, hats off to our program for really continuously getting better, and that's what you need to do. Is your hope is to make a run.
Tasha's amazing. What were you guys doing on defense in that second half that made it so difficult for South Alabama?
We just weren't giving them open looks, and I don't think we gave up middle, as much. In the first half, we gave up a lot of middle penetration, so it was easy for them to kick or get post feeds. I don't think we did that in the second half. We played better defense, and our post defense was good as well. We didn't give up a lot of second chance points.
This is for Tasha and Denasia as well. Bailey Holly hit that awesome three-pointer at the buzzer and just fading away everything. What's it like to be on the court or even on the bench and just see that from one of your teammates?
It's just exciting. It's fun.
It's funny. I mean, we all ran up to her and picked her up. It's like, I mean, who doesn't get hyped to that? And so, like, yeah.
Coach, so currently you, South Alabama, and 2 other teams are in like this 4-way scrum to clinch a first round bye. And like, what do you think is the importance of like getting a first round bye and getting to New Orleans to play in the conference tournament?
I think the biggest piece for honestly, any collegiate sport or any sport period is body rest for your team. The rest is going to be really important. I don't know if, me personally, okay, it's just a personal opinion, when you take off too many days off, that sometimes can hurt you, especially when it comes to basketball, men and women. Sometimes I question when people take off a first, second round bye and you're only playing 2 games. That can be a little scary because now your club's set out for a long period of time without playing the game. The momentum generally picks up for teams. But a first round bye naturally gives you a little bit more breathing room to get some body rest, which is important, both physically and mentally. For our team mentally, I think this team is tough enough to be able to weather whatever's put in front of them, but it's the physical piece of it sometimes with their bodies that you have to do a pretty good job of helping them manage that, whether it be shortening practices, giving them extra days off, whatever that might be. So we're all fighting for that opportunity as far as getting a good seed, and obviously everything's going to come down to the end. Before I even went in this game today, I think everything's going to come down to the end for us because there's too many factors. It's only the Texases and the Georgias that are playing 1 game next week. Everybody else is playing 2 games. So the implications are huge, right? Because Troy is still fighting. They got to fight UTA. And then Little Rock still has they still have games as well. I think that is really going to determine kind of how that all plays out. Maybe, probably won't happen until Saturday, regardless of what happens tonight. I don't see it. Whether Troy beats UTA or UTA loses, I mean, we still got to wait on next week because they're all playing 2 games except for us and obviously UTA. UTA needs to beat us next week in order to get that. I know that for sure. But for us, we need to get that so we have an opportunity there. And as well as it's a huge rivalry game, y'all. I mean, UTA, Texas State. It's going to be a big one for the men. I'm prayerful for them. I'm going to be saying prayers for Coach Casper up there. It's going to be a tough game because for them, there's a lot of implications on that game as well. So the Texas State UTA game across the board is going to have some pretty strong implications really for everyone because, I'm sure depending on what Troy does tonight for the women, they're going to be cheering for us. And I will tell you, Coach Gerlich definitely sent me a nice text message after we knocked off Little Rock because obviously that helps them out as well. But as you watch all this play out, it's going to be pretty interesting. And it's fun. That's what March is about, right? It's already March. March Madness is here. But body rest. Long story short, body rest.
Tasha, you ready for senior day?
I'm ready, but I'm sad. But I'm
Drew,
excited.
you had to ask that.
But I'm sad.
Yeah. Are y'all sad or excited?
It's a combination of both.
Yeah. Senior games for y'all when you watch players evolve, I'm sure, yeah. Because some of you guys, you cover them from their freshman or sophomore year or whenever they start playing. You know, like you guys are going to be covering Hood for a while. Yeah, so for you, kind of you watch an evolution of a player, both in their hairstyles and their game.